World Series baseball in full swing. Bryce Harper, does anybody care that he's doing well?
He's the greatest.
He is, and I think he's a strong buy.
Absolutely the greatest.
The
Phillies are winning the they're winning the Super Bowl.
That's how good they are.
That's how good they are. They're going to win the World Series, and then they're just going to win the Super Bowl after that. Actually, the Eagles may actually win the Super Bowl.
Exactly. Also, it should be mentioned that the MLS team is currently in the finals for Philadelphia. They're doing pretty well in Philly right now.
It seems like East Coast sports in general are like just on fire. I mean, you got the Jets, the Giants. I know the Giants got a loss this weekend, but
don't tell that to Yankee fans after their collapse.
Yeah, but they had their 62 home run moment in the sun, right?
So,
but you got 4 guys you're showing here on the slide. You got Harper, you got Tucker, you got Baum, and you got Pena. I mean, from a hobby standpoint, who do you think that people should gravitate to? Because I mean, I don't know. Things are down. We're seeing the dip. We're seeing everybody do the dip. And Bryce Harper's prices are actually lower right now than they've been, regardless of what he's doing. So. But is there some of these guys like Baum, who was a rookie last year, Tucker, who was a rookie, whose first Bowman's in 15, and then Pena, who's a rookie now? Can these guys, do we see any way for these guys to be investable or going up based on what's going on?
I mean, honestly, Harper is the guy. If you're going to invest in someone, I still would recommend it being Harper, especially because you're going to get first Bowmans. I mean, first Bowmans are cheaper than, Harper's, and same with Tucker and that. But, I don't know. If I'm going to throw down as much money as I would for a big first Bowman auto, I would much rather it be for Harper, who I think relative to his talent and what he's accomplished on the field and what he's doing right now this postseason, he's having one of the best postseasons for a Philly we've ever seen. He's having if they win the World Series and he's the World Series MVP, we are going to say, wow, that was one of the great postseasons any player's ever had, and it just happens to be one of the best players of his generation. I don't know how you don't. If you
first ballot Hall of Famer, right?
But $900 on a first Bowman 9.5.
I'd have to double check, but yeah, there is some
giving it away.
Yeah, BGS 9.5 for $850. Now it is going up. Saw some that are going some numbered cards, low numbered cards going for $2,000, $3,000, $4,000, but you can still get a really good Bryce Harper card for under $1,000.
And that's why the hobby is it's definitely trends, and it's not so much based on what the player does in the field, because I think if you looked up Ronald Acuna right now, he's way higher than him. So I mean, you can go down the list, probably Juan Soto, Fernando Tatis. These guys are all higher than Harper, who's won some MVPs. Who, if he wins a World Series this year, has got that on his mantle too. So, what is it? Is it his face not being? Is it because it's so long ago that it happened?
I always like comparing Harper to Trout, though, in the way of obviously what they do on the field and then their card market. Why is Trout, and always has
20 times higher,
so much higher than Bryce Harper?
I think it's
because Trout's career stats. Because Harper did have a couple tough years, injury years. I think his first year in Philadelphia wasn't that great. Trout has always been consistent regular season. As long as he's out there, he always puts up MVP type numbers.
Mm-hmm.
But does it really justify 10 to 20 times more than Bryce Harper? And you talk about going in the way back machine. I mean, we're 2-year difference.
Yeah, that's what it doesn't make a lot of sense.
It's crazy. It's crazy to think what a Bowman first auto of Trout goes for compared to a Bowman first auto of Bryce Harper.
Now, I'll be in the defense of Trout here, who I think is as good as Harper is. Again, I think right now he wins a World Series. I think for me, he's a definite Hall of Famer, no doubt about it. He's one of the great players of this generation. But I think it just speaks to how good Trout has been, that he is, you can make an argument, and I think if you look at the stats, it backs it up. He is almost twice the player what Bryce Harper is. Trout is in a level of his own. There is really no comparison other than the great names of the past, which I think is what justifies his price. And I think, too, if Harper played in a different era, didn't come up with Trout, he's got the shadow of Trout lingering over him forever. If he wins a World Series, it changes. And I think actually going to
But
Philly,
does it though? I don't think it does. I don't think winning a World Series changes Harper's card value.
I don't think it goes crazy, but I think for fans the perception will change, and I think you're right. I don't know if the card value will change that much, but I think because of look at the on the field production, Trout has been a better player just across the board, and it does not take anything away from Harper, who has been a phenomenal player. And I think the worst thing going against him is that he plays in the same era as Trout and was a rookie. They're just so linked forever and ever.
I think we put way too much value on World Series.
I guess so.
We always have this conversation. Got to win a World Series. Got to win a Super Bowl. Got to win a championship. Whatever sport they play, we always transition to, well, their card value isn't as much because they haven't won a World Series or a Super Bowl or an NBA title.
Well, and you got the Buster Posey theory,
But
obviously.
I don't think it does change much.
Not for baseball. Baseball seems like the only oddity.
But I don't know if it really changes much for any of the sports. We always use it as a crutch for a guy who we look at to be undervalued. And maybe they haven't won a championship. And we're always point to that going, well, that's why his cards are not worth as much.
I think in football, there's something to it. Like you win. I think Mahomes doesn't have the status he has. If he doesn't win that Super Bowl early on, he doesn't have that success.
But Josh
early on.
Allen. Josh Allen's
true.
cards are really, really
But
expensive.
see,
and I don't think they would go up much if he won a Super Bowl because they're already so high.
But the impact of like you very rarely see a player in football that has the hardware that doesn't have the stats, right? So like, I mean, Dan Marino doesn't have the hardware, but he also isn't in top 5 or top 6, right? I mean, in yardage, maybe he is in yardage, but like, you've got the pedigree of Brady, Montana. So those stats follow along with the Super Bowls. Now, modern era, you've got Mahomes, and the hardware follows the stats. If Josh Allen does it, he's going to be right on that podium too. Baseball's just completely different.
But
it doesn't even matter.
I think Josh Allen specifically, his value is so high already that a Super Bowl doesn't really increase it that much. What if something crazy happens and the Angels have a really, really good offseason, they put it together, and they win a World Series next year? I actually don't think that increases Mike Trout's value that much. I think it's the value is set because the collectors have already put their money into it. They're too invested for it to go down.
I think for a guy like Trout, it's going to be like there's already so much invested that there's not really much wiggle room. Whereas a guy like Harper, at least, there's a little more wiggle room. And I think also in baseball, why World Series don't matter as much is because I think a lot of fans rightfully understand it's kind of a crapshoot when it comes to the playoffs. We're seeing it right now. 3 100-win teams in the National League got eliminated before the championship series. The Yankees nearly got eliminated in the first round. Like, baseball is always the most unpredictable postseason, so I think that might be part of why it's like, hey, like once you get there, it's anybody's guess.
Yeah, I know.
I think what we need to have in the hobby is an approval rating, is what it is. It's almost not to get into politics, but I think it's like
a Q rating.
Yeah, I think because the way Mike Trout not only looks, the way he handles himself, he's got a 70% approval rating.
What's wrong?
He's got a 70%.
Bryce Harper has a great look.
There's 70% of people out there that will buy Mike Trout. Now Harper, the clown show stuff, the kind of a brat early on in his career, maybe his approval rating, and this is hypothetical, maybe it's only 40%. So it's just, and you know what? That never translates into high sales.
When was he a brat? Now, the one thing about Bryce Harper is that he was in the public eye at 16? People were already talking about him, how he was going to be the next coming, the next great baseball player. Actually,
you know what? I figured it out. He's got a beard. Just go back to, the whole Yankee philosophy. Mike Trout, clean cut. People like more people like the clean cut guys, I guess.
We cannot say this is bearded men. No,
We're all
beards are
sitting here.
good. Beards are good.
I don't know. I mean, I'm just trying to figure it out. I'm trying to go
second.
beyond the
Wait a
field
second.
here.
So if you're a professional athlete, baseball specifically, and you're going to be more marketable if you don't have a beard. Brian Wilson had the beard of all beards.
I'm talking about the hobby, though. Did Brian Wilson's cards sell?
Well, he's a closer.
Okay.
I mean,
you know
actually,
what?
at one
I'm
point,
on
they
to
probably
something.
sold a lot better than they
I'm
probably
on to
should
something.
have.
Who didn't sell in football that won multiple Super Bowls? Ben Roethlisberger. Did he have a clean-shaven face?
Well, I mean,
no.
a whole lot there,
well, I
too.
mean, he had a little
Well,
some other
So
stuff
his
that
approval
probably-
rating is down, and you add the beard on there. But Mahomes, does Mahomes have a beard?
Could Mahomes grow a beard?
Tom Brady doesn't have a beard.
Does Josh Allen have a beard?
No.
Yeah, a little bit. A little bit, like a mustache.
Okay, wait. LeBron has a beard. LeBron has a beard.
Okay.
Now he didn't for a
Now
while,
he doesn't
but
have a great
does.
approval rating though. But he
Yeah,
has
but in the hobby, LeBron's LeBron still. and
Steph
it's not gonna
Curry.
change.
Does Steph Curry have a beard?
Are we?
What is that?
This can't be.
I'm shaving. I'm shaving a beard tomorrow.
This can't.
I've stumbled on
your
something.
breaker approval rating will go through the roof.
I probably. It seems like it. It seems like it. I mean, what?
Well, Conrad doesn't have
in
a beard.
history,
Conrad
wasn't-
doesn't have a beard.
Remember in
His
history,
approval ratings through the roof.
exactly.
Fair.
Remember presidential candidates back in? There was one that lost. They said
weren't gonna
literally
go
because it
political,
was
and
beard.
I feel like we've
and I'm not
gone-
naming them. I'm not naming them.
Well, presidents used to always have beards, and now, since the turn of the 20th century, they don't. So maybe you're onto something.
I remember when I worked at a local company that was around since the 50s, they would not let me have a beard on the sales floor. I could only have a mustache, which is weirder in my opinion. But there's just some stigma of beards, and maybe I just stumbled upon something. We're about to go into this Mickey Mantle. Did Mickey Mantle have a beard? He did not. I bet you if we go through and all the highest selling guys, they don't have beards, with the exception of LeBron James.
We are gonna do a full breakdown of this. On
James
next
Harden.
week's
People
episode.
don't like James Harden. ZZ Top.
People
Could've been
like-
bigger.
hey, how about this?
Easy top. Wait a second
How about
here.
this? Ryan Fitzpatrick. If Fitzpatrick doesn't have that beard, does the Fitzmagic thing happen? Does this cult of Ryan Fitzpatrick happen? I'm not talking about the hobby. I'm just talking in general. It absolutely does not. So Fitzpatrick enhanced
But he doesn't
by
sell.
the beard. But
He
he's
doesn't sell.
But he's enhanced by the beard. Without the beard, he's nobody.
Now, when you say beard, are we mean like a huge beard, or are we talking just
Just a beard.
a
Any
beard?
kind of
like,
beard. Mustache is okay, but anything below the top lip.
What if
is-
they haven't shaved? Like, is this a beard?
Yes.
I have a beard.
Yeah, you would have a low approval rating.
A low approval rating.
Yes.
Exactly.
I
Your
don't.
cards would not sell.
Man, there's a lot of players out there that have beards. Actually, Cooper Kupp. Cooper Kupp has a beard.
He has a beard.
Does his card sell? Not really.
For a receiver, they do.
Who's the greatest receiver of all time?
Jerry Rice does.
Did
not
he have a
no,
beard?
he has
Yeah.
no
He did not
beard.
have a beard.
No, I think he does now.
currently
Well,
does
now,
He
yeah,
does now.
of course.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
during his
So you're
era,
saying his approval rating now?
yeah. But do you see him on TV? Only locally. I think we're on to something. I think that's going to be one of
I
my
think we just
qualifications.
lost everybody. Everybody who listens to the show who has a beard is checked out.
As
We're
a-
like, I'm done with the hype.
As a bearded, I'm going to vouch for those with beards. As Doug is turning on the bearded
Himself.
Yeah,
I am.
I got to stand up. No, it's okay.
But
Rock
see-
the beard. It's coming. Bring the beard back. We need another.
I want to try this, and my wife will hate it, but I think we'll have more.
beard
views.
is back in a big
We'll have
way, though.
more views if I don't have a beard. I think we're gonna go with that next week. I think that is.
I've
a
always wanted
proven
to just
theory.
rock the Tom Selleck mustache.
Yeah. Well, this
I
might
think
be time.
I think
Might
I'll
be time.
just shave everything, just leave the stash.
Listeners, viewers, I can assure you, this beard ain't going anywhere. Staying right here. I'm staying right here.
Your approval rating.
Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts doesn't have a beard. It's. I mean, I think it's like a 9 out of 10 here.
No, I mean, but I could name a bunch of players who are not performing that don't have beards in their hobbies. Like Kyler Murray doesn't have a beard.
Oh, he has a beard now.
Kyler Murray has a beard
he has
now.
a big beard now. Yeah.
He actually does have a beard now.
Who else? Who else is doing
Well,
it?
Steph's got a beard right there on that little pop toy.
Steph has a beard.
True.
He's got a
A
beard.
little bit of a beard. Yeah, he got. Yeah, he did.
Clay Thompson.
That was probably the year that they.
Clay
got
Thompson
last
has a
place.
beard,
No, not on that card.
but right now he does.
Fu Manchu, maybe.
We will do a full in-depth investigative report
hope not.
on the
Beards.
beard.
I hope
On
not.
the beard
Stay
next
tuned.
week.
263.
Yeah, 263 coming soon.
And
All
the
right.
funny thing is that we were trying to get through this episode relatively quick, and we've gone on 2 tangents already.
Do Mojobreak tangent.
Harper's still underrated. Like, we
Yes,
put a
he
bow on
is.
that.
100%. But he has a beard. More Mantle making news. Let's talk about this one. What's going on with this PSA 1952 Mickey Mantle?
All right, so we've got 2 stories here about Mickey Mantle. One is, and I think they're both related. One, the PSA 8 Mickey Mantle. It's the highest graded mantle going on sale on auction since the record-breaking sale. Right now, I think as of today, as of this recording, with 15 days left, just about $1.2 million is what it is valued at. And then we have the I didn't put the slide in, but I apologize. But anyway, a collectible, the app Collectible had a big news today or the other day where it was one of the first big buyouts was offered for a card, and it was the PSA 8 Mantle at $1.4 million.
Different than this one.
Different than this one. It's a different Mantle. PSA 8 Mantle. Buyout at $1.4 million. Shareholders
rejected it, right?
Rejected it. They rejected it. So think it's interesting. Do you guys think it's a good move that they rejected it? I know there was Sports Collectors Daily did a good write-up about the sort of state of these shareholder apps, these card shareholder apps. And, you know,
well, what are the requirements? 60% to accept the buyout?
I would think it would be, it would have to be majority, would have to accept the buyout. So clearly he said no. And probably a smart move considering that this card with 2 weeks left is only, 200,000 away from that buyout price.
Yeah, I mean, I probably would too if I was a shareholder. Now, I mean, obviously, I don't know where, we had we had Ezra from the Collectible app on the podcast early on when they were first getting started, and they probably want to see some of the buyouts happen, right? So they as a company were probably hoping it did happen to show some kind of.
What did they get out of it? Did they get get some kind of
I don't
commission,
know.
some type of?
I'm assuming
some type of
headline for sure.
Got to get some type of rake on the sale, right?
I would imagine that's the case, which is probably why the shareholders, they probably scoffed at it because they realize, so that's part of that is going to go to them, which as you would expect. Mm-hmm. So yeah, 1.4 million doesn't sound all that enticing suddenly. When again, you're seeing it's going to go for probably that, if not more, in a few weeks here.
Yeah, so we'll see. That's definitely one of my Grail card PCs. If you guys have a Grail that you're looking for, put it in the comments below.
You're looking to get an 8, Doug?
I'm looking to get. Well, no, probably not. I would have to sell everything
tough.
I own.
Yeah, what do we think that's going to end up at? By the way, it's 2 weeks left, and it's at close to 1.2 million.
Since he doesn't have a beard, it's going for $2 million probably. No, I don't know. Actually, what did the 10? The 10 went for.
There's probably some Mickey Mantles out there where someone drew a beard.
Yeah, that's true. Now that's your
clearly
little devil horns or something too,
Low
and
approval
glasses.
rating. Yeah, clearly.